lead and second flipped in the picture, so I may have to go back and see if I can fix that. But at any rate, Chris Williamson's a second-year curler. He's the lead. Tom Pulowski is a first-year curler, and Mike Ward is a second-year curler. I'll see if I can find some information on Spartacus a little later.
All right, so that guard was a little bit to the right.
Diorio's
they were trying to
down
throw
here.
a guard. Didn't quite cover up the shot rock. It is a guard, though.
Diorio is coming down to throw his hammer.
Just in the front of the house.
They appear to be wearing some of the members of Team Nashville appear to be wearing some fun red shirts.
All right.
This is hammer, indeed.
The hammer shot for Diorio.
Dean Diorio.
They're just going to try and draw down, use that one as a backer, just bump it out enough to take their one and move on to the next end. That looked a little inside when he let it go. They're going to need to sweep this one really hard.
It's diving.
They're all over the guard. They are going to give up. Probably, it looks like they're going to give up 2, maybe even 3 at this point. That is going to be a steal of 2 for Team Spartacus. Jeff Lee from
Potomac,
Maryland. So a big steal here in the first end.
Apparently we've had a little problem with some of the pictures, so technical director Joe Calabrese is going to try to fix it.
It looks like it's the last call on the
I partook in some Indian food. You can probably snag some, I'm sure, if you please. Sorry, folks, we were discussing the dinner that they're beginning to clean up behind us. That has been here most of the evening. A great spread of all kinds of Indian stuff.
And if anybody in the room is listening and would like to bring me a couple of samosas, I wouldn't mind.
All right, so it looks like we're throwing a center guard here. I don't think he called for it in. We were discussing Indian food, so they may have called for it in.
I think he called for it in.
Tony thinks they're calling for it in. He's pointing at the 4-foot, so I'm guessing that's where it's going.
That is where I think it's going.
It's actually going to sneak a little bit behind the button. So
still,
it's going to bring...
he's calling for one on the top of the... Diorio's calling for one at the top of the 4. Okay.
All right, so we're calling for a shot to the top of the 4-foot here.
Chris Williamson?
Yes.
Chris Williamson, lead for the Diorio rink.
Delivering.
Shooting 50% here after the first end, so he made one, missed one. That's curling in here nicely. That's going to sit just about where they want. Maybe if they want to sweep that a little farther and stick it right on that red rock. And it's going to get there on its own.
That's what it did.
Pretty good shot. There was a chance to pick it out of there, however. But they're going to call it just sit in the pocket. Still taking a ton of ice. This may not be enough ice for this shot.
That kind of depends. Are they throwing peel?
If they're throwing peel, they might not have. Might want to move it out a little. This looks light, so they're gonna have to get on this. Once it starts to break, they're gonna have to get on this real hard.
This shot is way too light.
Actually, it's not slowing down like we thought it was going to, so that might get to right where they want it. It's gonna be sitting in that pocket. Should be sitting shot out of that. I'm sorry.
That dirties the ice, Chris. That dirties the ice.
Guess I gotta drink a little more. I blame Kathy's fault. I think Kathy just dumped liquor in this and just waved the margarita mix over top of it.
That's right.
I feel like I'm at the salsa tequila. All right, so we're just coming in here, just gonna blast at this. big weight coming.
That's
Might
an
not
awful
be enough
lot of
to
weight.
move. It's not going to be enough to move everything out of the way, though.
No, but it may get that back red stone.
All right, so they moved a couple rocks out of there. The two that are still sitting there,
Clean up the house a bit.
we've got a red stone frozen to a blue stone. Looks like they're just going to draw right down on top of it. If they bump it a little bit, they'll have their two rocks frozen there, and the blue one will just get bumped out of the way and leave them sitting 1-2. Yes, we're playing at 7 a.m. It's now 10:10 p.m. If any of you fans out there are up at 7 a.m., it may be broadcast. There will be a game broadcast at 7 a.m. It may not be our game, but it will be a game.
Please, and if you can't watch online, stop by at the club before you go to work.
At the very, very, very least, I will come in the morning and
cheer on Rochester's own.
I'll get the equipment set up playing on whatever sheet we happen to leave it on. Hopefully we can get it to our game, but that, like we said before, that takes a lot of effort to move, so we may just leave it here. And if anybody's in the mood to commentate tomorrow morning, come on down, 7 a.m. There's a handful of games going on. All right, so we're playing a hit here. They're sweeping it pretty hard. It's sneaking over. There's three people standing in my way. I can't see what's going on. They peeled the guard out of the way. Or the rock that was at the 12-foot. I didn't quite see where exactly it was sitting. In the top 8. I happen to have the middle seat during this broadcast, so when the skips and stuff are standing in front of me, I can't see anything. So my fellow spectators down there to my right need to assist. Oh, they're doing the wave now. We got the wave going at the Rochester Curling Club. The warm room's definitely emptied out. We were at 50, 60 people in here before. We're probably down to about 30.
I think that's generous. But it is getting late here.
And trying to just draw in onto the mess. They're going to spill out a little bit. Still sitting shot, Red is.
And I hear that some people have some early games.
My lead has reminded me I have an early game already.
Your lead?
Of course, I've noticed that he's still here. I have noticed that as well. That was a request for sheet A at 145. Is that doable tomorrow, Joe?
As long as we leave everything where it is.
All right, we can do 145 on sheet A. So blue came down here, ticked out. Tried to just tick that rock out of there a little bit. Just try and clean it out. They've opened it up a bit. They're sitting on the right, but red is sitting 2 at the moment. The opportunity to sit 3, but they're going to throw a guard here. I like this call.
Is there any more to come down?
I like this call, a toss and a guard. Cover up the shot rock.
Yeah, maybe you want to bring some of that food over for your broadcast too.
Thanks to Mike Graziano. He's bringing us an entire tray of samosas. Not just 1 or 2, but the whole tray has been brought over.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, so throwing a guard down here. It's real light, barely going to make it over the hog line. It's not going to cover up anything at all.
No, but at least it's still in play.
It's in play.
Diorio
is going to have a chance to come down here with Mr. Enixon, the vice, throwing, or nope, Mike Ward, I'm sorry. Joe just hadn't flipped it over for us yet. Shooting 12.5%, unfortunately, right now. But he's going to try and play a little hit and roll behind the guard. This looks a little inside. They need to get on this one really hard. Sweepers are on it. It's curling. It's curling. See if I can see over the skips here.
I think it's going to crash in that stone. It just hit. Oh,
no,
they got by that stone.
It's by the guard and through the hole even. didn't hit
How
anything.
that avoided every single stone on the sheet, I just, it amazes me.
I don't know how he didn't. There's still quite a bit of curl out there. Tony says the samosas are fantastic, so thank you to whoever made the samosas. We're not sure where they came from.
And thank you to Mike Graziano for bringing them over to me.
I know people have missed the team or the end sponsors, so I have one for you. This is important, so let's just listen up. So here we go. We know that my coach, Caitlin Moraldo, got invited to Japan for the Kurosawa International Bonspiel. Well, my team, Team Calabrese, got invited to a Bonspiel too. I was contacted by a prince from Nigeria, and he emailed me, and he said that he was willing to put us in his Bonspiel, the Nigerian International Bonspiel.
What month was this?
All I had to do was send him like $10,000 for the plane to pick us up, So look for that coming up in March.
The Nigerian Bonspiel in March. All right.
When the Prince of Nigeria contacts you, you listen.
We'll get the broadcast crew over there. You heard it here first. Team Calabrese headed to Nigeria in March. We may have to double check the dates on that Bonspiel or the location. Let's check your spam box for the invitation. You might get one too.
Funny thing, Joe, is I've gotten several invitations to that Bonspiel.
All right, so we're playing a hit here on the shot rock, but we're going to crash a guard, so that's not going to help anybody here. The question on the samosas, veggie or meat?
They appear to be veggie.
They are a veggie samosa. There is meat in there. There's been a correction by one of the spectators.
They are fantastic.
Mike Hahn, who plays lead for the Malenko rink.
Thank you.
Rochester number 7, if you're following along the draw at home. Had an unfortunate game yesterday afternoon, but the Vice had a very large family commitment. Had he shown up at the curling club, he may have ended up in divorce court, so I say hi to my wife at home. She may still be listening. She may not be. All right, so let's get back to the game. We're sorry here, folks. We're getting a little sidetracked. We've got Spartacus now. Coming down, going to play a hit on the blue rock. This is Skip Rock, Jeff Lee, shooting 50% so far. This is his first hit that he's tossed here. Mr. Calabrese is pulling out some team info. This looks really narrow. This is definitely on the guard.
This is on the...
And it's really, really light for a hit. They may actually be throwing a guard here. We apologize. It looked like they were lining up for a hit.
They look like they were lining up for a hit, Chris.
But they're definitely playing the guard that's going to land exactly where they want it. So we'll give Mr. Lee a nice 4 out of 4 for that shot. So my mistake on that.
Now, could you explain to our audience how do you score these shots?
All right, so for those of you that don't know, the curling scoring system, I should pass this one over to Joe. He's much better at explaining it than I do, but it's based on a 4 system. It's relatively subjective based on what the team is trying to do. And Joe, take it away. You're an expert at this.
All right. Well, you're trying to take the intention of the shot with the execution of the shot, and that's the way I'm scoring it. It's 4-point must system from 0 to 4. Hopefully, if you make the shot you're intending to call, you get a 4. If you miss the shot completely, if you flash a rock, or if you come up short of the hog line, you're going to get a 0. And there's shades in between. If you hit a rock that you intend to stick with and you roll out, then you're going to get a 2. But so that'll give you kind of an idea. You want to be in the 60% range at this level. If you could be that, you're going to do pretty well.
All right, so the crash a guard. They were coming down. I think they were trying to draw through the hole, maybe, because they definitely weren't playing a peel there. Thanks for the explanation, Joe, on the stat tracking. I have learned some of the stat tracking from Mr. Calabrese here, but I am no expert and will freely admit to that. Joe is looking for some more information on the Spartacus team here for us, just to give us a little insight of who they are, where they're from, what they do. Did we get a wireless mic on this team? on any of these teams. Oh, we did not. That is slightly unfortunate.